Hi guys, how are you doing? So in today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to make this palazzo trouser and this top. If it's what you want to learn, stay tuned. Hi guys, how are you doing? You're welcome to my YouTube channel. You're welcome to Victor Fashion Hub with Victoria Yetunde. Okay, so as you can see on the first video, we are going right to the video today. There's no talking today. So we are going to be cutting palazzo trouser and this beautiful top. You can wear it on a short, you can wear it, I would advise maybe you can wear it on a pencil dress short and anything you want to wear it. Just be creative. So at this point we are going to cut the palazzo trouser first. The first thing I did is measure my hip, divide it by 4, then add like 4 inches to it or 5 inches to it. That is what I did. Then I measured the starting points. For this I'm going to be using band. I'm going to be using 1.5 inches band. Then from that, make sure whatever you are measuring, you bring out the 1.5 inches. So for this measure, this is my waist to my hip measurement, then my waist to my crotch depth, is it depth, whatever you want to call it. That is what I measure now, because I want it to be, then from that crotch depth you go down by 4 inches for the tightening, and that is the main measurement for trouser. So now I'm drawing a straight line just to make it. Then I measure the length, I measure this. What I'm doing, I'm actually measuring the length. It was very stressful, but yeah. So at this point you divide your hip by 4. Yes, you divide your hip by 4. That is what and add 1 inches for the allowance. So for whatever you get, you measure the same measurement to the whatever your waist. You see the waistline and hip line we just measured. You measure the distance, then add 2.5. That is what you do. You can add 2 inches to yours if you are slimmer. Whatever you get in the hip measurement, you measure it to the curved end and add 2 inches or 2.5. You can use 3 inches too. Then you now curve it from there. This is a simple method. I have another method of palazzo trouser. Like I think I have like 3 or 4 tutorials on palazzo trouser on my YouTube channel. Anyone you want to use, it's okay. So at this point we're going to the waist measurement. We divide your waist by hip by 4 and add 1 inches that to it and 1 inches allowance. As you know, we are cutting out the front, not the back. So you now from that whatever you get in the front, you just do it just the way I chalked it. Then for the tightening, you divide your tightening by 2, not 4. Yeah, divide your tightening by 2. That is a lap measurement. Divide it by 2 and just do it like this. And actually I was managing this black material, so I don't have much. It's just 2 years. I think it's 2 years. So I was managing at 1.5, sorry. So I draw the straight line because I want the palazzo trouser to be big. If you don't want yours to be bigger like this, you can measure it, and yeah, that is it. Then I cut it out because I'm going to be using this to cut out the front, the back. So when you want to cut the back, make sure the upper part is longer because we need it. Yeah, I'm using pin to hold it at this point just to get. So I came out by 2 inches in the back. I came out by 2 inches. Yeah, for the crotch depth I came out by 2.5 inch. Yeah, 2.5 inch. You can come out by 3 inches anyhow you want. So for here I came out by 2.5 inches. So I now draw the crotch for the back. Yeah, then for on the other side I came out by 2 inches downward till we get to the down parts of this. So I want you to pay attention to what I want to do here. When you want to put elastic to yours, you can actually do, you don't need this, you just cut it just like that. But if you don't want yours to have elastic, you measure the front measurement, whatever you get there, then you go up by 2 inches just like that. Then you measure it from that 2 inches, whatever. For me I get 11 inches, so that 11 inches, and then you now draw a straight line. I measured it again to know if the 11 is 11 inches. Then I'll now draw it down. This is for if you don't want to put elastic on your trouser, you want to use zip. There are some places you put elastic and zip, so you don't need. So from that hip side, from the back, from that hip side, you flip your front, you flip it like this and just join it to the 11 inches that you measure, whatever inches you measured. Yeah, that is it. So right now, this is how your back and your front is going to look when you want to cut trouser or palazzo trouser that don't have elastic. And I hope you understand. I will link like link to see another palazzo trouser cutting. And if you're watching till now, you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, wait till I do you. Why have you not subscribed? Make sure you subscribe and turn off notification button to see more of my video when I upload it. So right now, this is the materials I'm going to be using for the top, as in the material has been with me for a while, so I said okay, let's do this. So this is the back. We are cutting the back first. You measure the length you want. You can use 20, you can use 21. I think I used 21, I can't remember. Then you measure the length. You can even use 18. So you measure the zip measurement. For me, I use 2 inches. I think you can use 1.5, anyone you want. Then from there, you go to your shoulder line, your back line measurement divided by 2. For me, it is 8 inches. So from there, I measured 3 by 2. Yeah, I'm going to be using 3 by 2 in the back, 3 by 2 in the back. Yeah, that's the curve I want to use. You can use 3 by 1.5, depends on what you want. Yeah, then you use your curve ruler or you use your line, and then you go down by 1 inches for your slope. Everything that you call anything you are calling it, just go down by 1 inches. Then from that place, you measure your armhole measurement. To get your armhole measurement, divide your bust by 6 and add 1.5. For me, it is 8 inches. So I measure the 8 inches and draw it like this. So at this point, I draw a straight line to get my armhole. Divide my bust divided by 4. I divide my bust by 4 and add 2 inches freeness and 1 inches allowance. 1 inches for the sewing. Yes, 1 inches, 2 inches for the allowance, 1 inches for the sewing. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. So for this, if you want to measure your waist, is okay, but it's not compulsory. You can just draw a straight line down. I wish I measured the waist though. When I was wearing it, I wish I measured the waist measurement, but I just draw it straight like this. But you can actually measure your waist measurement at 2 inches and 1 inch. It will give you more shape. Later on, I'm later shaping it out. So you can do it like this if you want free, but if you don't, you just measure your waist. So at this point, we're going to be using this to cut out the back, the front measurement. As you can see, I bring out the 2 inches. So for the back, I have cut the neck. So for the front, I went 3 by 4. Yeah, 3 by 4. Then I cut it out. So then I cut the facing of the dress. You can use bias. For me, I use facing, my fabric for the facing. That is what I did. I'm doing right now. That's what I'm cutting right now. So at this point, I was cutting the sleeve, just normal sleeve, straight normal sleeve. Then I use it to cut out the other side, and that is all. So right now we are going to the sewing. So the sewing, I hope you guys are understanding it. Then you sew it together just like this. I think then you sew the space too. You sew it like this. So for me, I'm going to be putting the zip in the back, but if you want to put your zip in the side, you can just sew the back straight forward like that. But for me, so for the top, I'm going to be sewing the facing inside, then use it to turn the main fabric inside. I will explain better now. So after sewing your after sewing your facing inside, you put right side facing on each other, just the way you use for lining. You sew it, you notch it and top stitch it and turn it inside. That is what we are gonna do. I'm going to do the same thing to the back though. Do the same thing. I'm trying to explain again. And guys, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, waiting I do you, why have you not subscribed? Make sure you subscribe and turn off the notification button to see more of my video when I upload it. Make sure you subscribe. I'm waiting for you to subscribe. Have you I'm waiting. Thank you for joining the family. You're welcome. Returning subscriber, you know I love you guys so much. So at this point I was done joining and I put that, yeah, I was just joining the front and the back, then I put that in it. Then I'm going to be through ironing. I put that in the front too. You may not to yours then, but later on I put. So look at how the front looks for the material, for the top. Look at how the front is. Then you give it a good press. Yeah, I'm gonna be ironing it right now. So this is the back. This is the back right now. Look at how it looks. So you give it a good press now. Give it a good press and iron it. Yeah, this when I was ironing. If you have any question or any tutorial you want me to do, just comment down below how we answer you, or follow us on my Instagram page, Victory Fashion Up YouTube. Yeah, we have a page now for our YouTube video, and if you have any question to ask me, and if you're not following my Instagram business page, Victory Fashion Up, follow us, and we love to have you in the family. So at this point I was done ironing and I put the trouser aside. Let's focus on the top first, then after that we'll now go back to the trouser. So for the back is going to have a zip, so just a small zip. So as you can see, I'm arranging the back together. Then I'm going to start the sewing from around the down part, sew it down, then put zip on it, just small zip. You are going to see where the zip is going to get to when I'm done. So after that, then I will join the shoulder of the front and the back together. I'll join the shoulder together. I'll use the back to turn the shoulder, just the way I do it. I'll use the back to turn the shoulder and you sew it. And I'll do the same thing to I'll do the same thing to the other side. And if that is all, never have take light though, sorry guys. So if you have any question, you can comment down below. As you can see, I've put the zip is already there and it's giving the givises. So at this point, I don't know why I use palazzo trouser with this top. It will have been better we use short trouser or something. We'll make it more, or even pencil trouser that is high waist, not palazzo. But I just want to come out creativity on Sunday. I just want to bring out fashion out. I don't know why. So you saw the side. That was how I used palazzo, and so the other side. So right now we are going to be sewing the sleeve with it. Before going to the down part, I'm going to sew the sleeve in it down and sew it like that, just the way you are seeing me. Turn it into two and sew it in the side and join it to the main dress. Yeah, we join it together. So this is what I'm going to be using for this thing. So this is it. You sew it as a bias. When you now get to the down part, you fold it inside and just for a neat job, then sew it as a bias. We are going to do the same thing. I think I did 30, but please, if you don't have mind, just do 18 or 20. I almost fainted on this thing. I was like, God, though. The length is 22 and the width is 2 inches. Yeah, that's what I use. Then at this point I was done here. Look at how many it is. I started cutting because I saw everything together. I started cutting it from one. Yeah. Oh my God, I was so tired because I was so tired before I started this dress. I was tired. So at this point I started ironing. It was stressful to iron 30 this thing. Oh God, what if it's not 50? I'll just say, hey, carry me, they go. So at this this point I was going to sew it with the fabric, and as you can see, I'm showing you guys this. Honestly, I was using it to play at this moment, but we know I was showing. At this point I'll start with the starting, then I'll do 1.5 inches, then I'll put the other side 1.5 inches. I did 1.5 inches for this, 15 in the front and 15 in the back, just the way you're saying what I'm doing. That is what I did. You can use pin to hold it, but me, I'm so used to doing things. I know, well, later on I will chalk it for you guys to get it more. So that is how we are going to place it till the end. So I was counting and I found out that I actually used 15. So at this point I was measuring 1.5 to tell you guys how to you get a hair. That is what. Then I chalked this and it was 15. I did the same thing to the back. I did the same thing to the back. So I was checking the chalk in the back, in the front, and I was using it to chalk out the back. So at this point I was done joining and I was playing with it that go be careful now, express you they go. So this is it though. And I was like, God, let me do this. So at this point we are going to be using bias to turn it inside. So you sew it like this. You sew it 1/2 inch inward. You sew it just the way you are seeing it inside this camera. You sew it round, then we turn it inside and place this thing out, then we sew it. So that's how that's how I did it. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you understand. If you have any question, you can comment down below and I will answer. If you have any tutorial you want me to do, you can comment down below. I forgot that there's still trouser. come back. So at this point we were sewing the trouser, and the trouser is not going to take long because we are almost done. There is no pockets, there is nothing. So you sew the side and sew this other side, and then sew the inner, whatever you want to call it, sew it, put the band. At this point I was done. Then I weave the inside. Very neat job, is very important. So you measure the waist measurement, cut the band out and put the band on in the trouser. Then after that you sew the down part of the trouser. So that is all for the trouser. So I was measuring the length as I've said it before. You measure the waist of whatever is in your, mine is 35, yeah, 35. Then you measure this thing that we are going to use and put it inside. Then just iron it. Ironing is compulsory. Ironing is very compulsory. At this point I don't really like the fabric or the black trouser, so I just use it. So this is the band I'm going to be using. I measure 4 inches, then I cut it out, and then I'm going to sew it in the, to cut the palazzo trouser. I'm going to link the link down below so you get it more better than this, but I still explain more here. I think you can still get it. So yeah, you sew it with the waist, then sew the down part and put the zip. That is all for this tutorial. Thank you for watching your work. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe, turn off notification button. If you have any question, comment down below. Love you guys. Take care of yourself. Bye. See you on my next video.